host of the Rob Brown Show on the Phantom State. And you can follow him on X, where he's always giving it to you there at the Rob Brown Show. Again, on X, at the Rob Brown Show. Rob, welcome back to BetMGM tonight. Straight away from me, let's start in college football. Horvat is all about Boomer Sooner this week, and what could be arguably the game of the week against Michigan down in Norman, Oklahoma. Currently, the Sooners are laying 5.5 points with a total sitting at 44.5 at BetMGM. What's your lean in this one and a pair of ranked foes?
I am intrigued by Michigan, and I'm intrigued by Michigan because it's been the you can't do it story. And I kind of feel like there's a little bit of angstiness, like a 2004 Good Charlotte album hanging in there with Michigan. Like they're going to put on the black eye liner and pull the hair over the face and just lean into those emo feels to get it done. But I think, and again, there's nothing in all of sports broadcasting I love more than week one overreactions in college football. It's my favorite thing. It's people ready to dive headfirst off of tall buildings, throw themselves into traffic, sit on the bottom of the pool for too long. It's the best. But here's one. John Mateer's kind of a dude, right? Like that was the big question because, and Horvey, you and I had this discussion on a show we did together preseason. I think the question for a lot of teams that started this season with a little number out to the left of their name coming into the season, we had questions about quarterback. I think you can say that about South Carolina. You could say it about Clemson. You could say it about LSU. You damn sure could say it about Michigan, and you damn sure could say it about Oklahoma. Now, Michigan may have answered their questions too because Bryce Underwood looked like kind of a dude. So I think 5.5 is a little rich for me. I think this is a field goal game. So I would be tempted to put a little something on Michigan with the cover, not the outright win though, because of all of the quarterbacks that went out there and dominated a cupcake to start their season. John Mateer was one of the most overall impressive. And considering the fact that Brent Venables appears to be getting the hell out of the way and letting that offense operate, boys, I think the Boomer Sooners might be legit this year. So I don't love the number at 5.5. I'm not going to hate on anybody who's taking it anyway.
Yeah, the Arbuckle hire was great, man. And Mateer looked great. Granted, it was against Illinois State. Let's see him do it against that Michigan defense. If he does, Rob, I said, take a stab on him now. If you like Oklahoma in the game, you might as well bet him right now 16-1 to win the Heisman, because if he does that against that Michigan defense, you're not going to get that price. It's probably down to 8-1, maybe even lower. So I was going to ask you about an overreaction to Clemson, and Cade Klubnik wasn't very good, but I think they're going to be fine, and I think Cade's going to be fine. They just played a really good LSU team that people are sleeping on. But I do got to ask you about Texas, the preseason #1 team overall. Do you think now is time to kind of buy low on Texas, or are you all the way out on them and more like Arch Manning, who that was bad, man? I mean, he was missing throws all over the place. I know it was a tough road start against a really good defense, but he did not look like the quarterback that we've hyped up all season long, all summer long. Where are you at with Texas and Arch now?
Well, first off, I totally agree. Second off, since you said I was going to ask you about Clemson, but then I decided to not and decided to move on, I'm going to go back and talk about Clemson for just a moment anyway, Ryan Horvath, because I'm a big fat jerk, and that's what I do. I get it. I get it, because everybody has been all in on Cade Klubnik, and that's fun, and that's great, and that's spectacular. Cade Klubnik, in his career against Southeastern Conference team, Ryan Horvath, 2-5, 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Why are we saying he's going to be fine? Because he hasn't been fine in the biggest games. Now, there's a lot more to that Clemson game I think we have to talk about. A couple of years ago when Garrett Riley got hired to be Dabo Swinney's offensive coordinator at Clemson, Dabo Swinney said, 10 toes in the sand with his whole damn chest, we did not hire Garrett Riley to run the Garrett Riley offense. We hired Garrett Riley to run the Clemson offense. Well, here we are, Dabo, and it's been 4 years of the Clemson offense doing absolutely not a damn thing. You were just good enough last year to sneak into the ACC title game in a year where Florida State was 2-10. In a year where Miami slammed their own genitalia in the door against Georgia Tech to keep themselves out of it. In a year where you had to sneak in to the ACC title game. You then went down to the wire against, and all due respect, because I love Kevin Jennings and I love Rhett Lashley, but you went down to the wire with newcomer SMU to backdoor your way into the national championship playoffs. And then what happened? You went up against the Big Ten team. I didn't even give you the Big Ten stats. I just looked at the SEC stats for Cade, which are abysmal. What did he do in that game? Not a damn thing for 3.5 quarters, and he stat pad garbage timed a couple of touchdowns late to make it look respectable when it wasn't. I got to tell you, Horvat, I think we got to move on past this. Cade's going to be fine because Clemson, for 3-4 years now, has just run face first into a brick wall, gotten up, bloodied, beaten, battered, and bruised, and then run into the same brick wall again. I understand that the Dabo Swinney stubbornness is what made him so endearing for so long to Clemson fans. Dear Tigers, it's the reason you're losing now, because Dabo wants to keep doing the same things over and over, despite the fact that you are not getting different results. And I believe that there's an old catchphrase about doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. What's that? It's the definition of insanity. Here we go again, Clemson fans. You're gonna go undefeated in the... Actually, I take that back. I was gonna say undefeated in the ACC. Horvat, right now, Florida State or Clemson if they played this weekend?
I probably would bet Clemson.
Not me. Not me. Not me.
Really?
Why? What about Clemson this weekend says they're going to beat a team in Florida State that beat the dog snot physically out of Alabama this weekend? What about those two teams says Florida State would not just run into, through, and around? Well, I like the front seven for Clemson. I still do. Wade Woodaz was like the only good thing Clemson. Sammy Brown, like the only good things Clemson had going for him. But Florida State made Alabama's offense disappear after drive number 1. Cade Klubnik again, 2-5, 3 tutties, 8 picks against big-time football defenses. And you're going to pick them right now to win this conference? I'm out, buddy. I'm out.
All right, so now I really do want to ask you about Texas and Arch, though, right? Because I don't think it's just an overreaction. He was really bad in that game. Sark was outcoached in that game. Also, like my biggest takeaway watching the game again this morning, those 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8 runs were very telling. I don't think Sark trusts Arch to make the throws.
How could you? Here's the issue you have with Arch. And I do want to be very clear. I'm not going to bring it down on Arch because Arch isn't the one hosting Southeastern Conference radio shows on ESPN telling everybody Arch is built different, is he, Paul? Knock it off, Feinbaum. Even Ric Flair's out here dunking on you, telling you don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, Nature Boy. I appreciate you. Woo! Look, my man sat for 2 years. A couple of weeks ago, Horvey, you got after me a little bit when I said I thought it was more than fair for Steve Spurrier to ask the question, if Arch Manning is indeed Texas's football Jesus, how did he not beat out Quinn Ewers? And you went and made 19 different excuses and reasons why that was the case. I'm here to tell you, buddy, he didn't beat out Quinn Ewers because Quinn Ewers was a better quarterback. He didn't beat out Quinn Ewers because what we saw at Quinn Ewers at his lowest last year was better than whatever the hell we saw. And we can chalk it up all day to a road game against the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, who have made a killing off playing good front seven defensive football the last couple of years. It's not that he played and struggled in the teeth of an aggressive defense, Ryan Horvat. It's the fact that he looked like he had no effing clue what the offense was supposed to be doing. I got my dude out here noodle arm underhanding passes to guys that are cutting across the middle even when they are open. And then when Matt Patricia started calling up and dialing up some disguises, we're going to show you a 2 and drop to a 3. We're going to show you a single high and roll to a quarters. When he started actually moving guys around, Arch Manning looked like I just handed the controller on my Xbox playing EA Sports to my 6-year-old nephew who had no idea what the hell was happening out there. And the problem is not that I expect you to be physically great and have the great mechanics and make every throw and look like it's easy, fellas. But after this much time, I expect you to know what the hell is happening. And Arch just looked like he was lost from start to end. Now, the touchdown he threw was an absolute dart. Like, you got to give him credit. But good God in heaven, that pick that he threw has got to be one of the most abysmal throws I've seen a Power 4 quarterback make in years. I'm in the same boat with Arch as I am Clemson. I got nothing. And oh, by the way, when are we going to stop pretending like Steve Sarkisian's this great coach? When are we going to stop pretending like Steve Sarkisian is anywhere close to even being 500 against top-ranked teams outside of last year? He's not, guys. Steve Sarkisian's a fine coach that can communicate with quarterbacks. We got to stop pretending that this guy is college Bill Belichick, because he's not. He has faded in every big game they've played. Put this one onto the pile.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bringing the heat, bringing the fire. Our boy Rob Brown join us right now, host of the Rob Brown Show in the Phantom State. And on X, give him a follow at the Rob Brown Show. Rob, we got about a minute and a half left. We got Ravens-Bills with all sorts of home field playoff implications on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens are laying un punto right now with a total of 50.5, which is the highest on the board in week 1 of the NFL season. So give us a play or three. I don't care if it's a side, total, player prop, SGP. Just give me something. Give it to me.
Guys, Steve Sarkisian is 7-19 against ranked teams in his career. 7-19. Why are we pretending he's this guru? What are we doing here? All right, sorry. I can't over it. By the way, at Texas, he's 6-9 against ranked teams. Can we stop? Can we please stop?
Nice.
Can we just please? I'm begging you
Nice.
to stop. All right, sorry. NFL parlay. I went Saquon Barkley over 98.5 yards today. He's damn near going to knock that down in the first half. That's fantastic. Screw it. One more time. Jacksonville to win the AFC South, boys. I'm tired of pretending it's not going to happen. Trevor Lawrence shows you what's up. I know it's not what you asked for me, Brad. I don't care. It's my hot take. I like it. Jacksonville Jaguars win the AFC South. I will ride or die with T-Law and Liam Cohen. Duval.
Oh, my gosh. So much energy, so much fire, so much passion. That's my guy, Rob Brown. He's got to go console his wife who needs points on her fantasy league.
She's not doing well.
Brown, who's not
Where is A.J. Brown?
Or squat. It's early. It's early. Make sure you go and listen to Rob Brown, The Rob Brown Show on the Phantom State, and follow him on X at The Rob Brown Show. Rob, we love and adore you. We'll talk to you soon, my man.